Mary Seacole was a famous nurse in the Crimean War. She was black, and because of that, the people there didn't want her around because at that time they were still a bit racist. But because they turned her away, she kept coming back and helping all of the soldiers, and that made her one of the best nurses in the war. Doubts and suspicions rose in my head for the first and last time, thank heaven. Was it possible that American prejudices against colour had some root here? Did these ladies shrink from accepting my aid because my blood flowed beneath a slightly duskier skin than theirs?
I've chosen Cleopatra as my woman because she was able to fight off wars and do it as a woman back in the time when women were counted as inferior, and she may have been married 4 times, but she was still able to fight off wars and be able to do work without any of them. She became queen at 18 years old, which I think is quite young, and from then she was ruling the country great. The quote which I got from her is, "I will not be triumphed over," which I really like because it's true. Nobody in this world should be triumphed over. She died. Some people say she died from a guy killing her, and some people say that she died from an aspite. Apparently she died with her lover Mark Anthony, who she had been framed for killing her sister on holy steps. Be it known that we the greatest are Miss Fool. Fool, don't you see now that I could have poisoned you 100 times had I been able to without you, and I will not be triumphed over.
I chose Artemis because she was like one of the strong women powers in ancient Greece. I chose her because she was like really cool, and the things she done was really good. She didn't need a man to rule her life and to tell her what to do. She sort of stayed away from men, and she didn't really like. I chose her because she was like really cool. She didn't need a man to rule her life and to tell her what to do. She sort of stayed away from men. She didn't really like them.
I chose Boudica because she was a very strong and powerful woman, and she knew what she wanted, and she always defended herself. Boudica was the queen of the Iceni tribe of East Anglia, while her husband was the king. She had 2 daughters, but they were both raped, and she was flogged after her husband died. Boudica was said to be very tall, had long red hair that went down to her knees, and usually wore a multicoloured tunic. She was said to have carried a spear and was very frightening to look at. Boudica was said to be possessed of greater intelligence than often belongs to women. It is not as a woman descended from royalty, but as one person has lost their freedom. I am avenging lost freedom, my scourged body and the abuse of my daughters. The Romans have gone too far. This is what Boudica said.
Well, Rosa Parks is a very inspirational person because on the 1st of December 1955, she was arrested in Montgomery, Alabama for refusing to stand to let a white bus passenger to take her seat. The established rule at this time was that African American passengers had to sit at the back of the bus and they must surrender their seats for a white passenger who were needed. However, she refused to do so because she believed that everyone is equal to one another and that people shouldn't be judged by the colour of their skin or any other thing, considering that they're the same in the inside. I would like to be known as a person who is concerned about freedom and equality and justice and prosperity for all people. He pointed at me and said, "That one won't stand up." The 2 policemen came near me and only one spoke to me. He asked me if the driver had asked me to stand up. I said yes. He asked me why I didn't stand up. I told him I didn't think I should have stood up. So I asked him, "Why do you have to push us around?" And he told me, "I don't know, but the law is the law and you are under arrest."
Coco Chanel was a businesswoman from the time before World War II. She designed clothes that were innovative because they were different from the time. She released women from the dreaded corsets and made luxury comfortable. Fashion has become a joke. The designers have forgotten that there are women inside the dresses. Most women dress for men and want to be admired, but they must also be able to move and get into a car without bursting their seams. She also once said, "The most courageous act is to still think for yourself," aloud.
Queen Elizabeth I, the Virgin Queen. She was a strong woman, whether it was coping with the loss of her mother when she was 3 years old, or handling men twice her age when she was a young queen. She even told off her lover when he was arguing with her for flirting with a young courtier. She said, and I quote, "I have here but one mistress and no master." This shows that she was a woman who never took no for an answer, and she always believed that she was higher than anyone else. As a mistress is seen lower than the master, she shows him that she is his master and not the other way around.
Amelia Earhart was an amazing woman because she wanted to travel the world and she was very courageous. But unfortunately she disappeared over the Atlantic. The woman who will create her own job is the woman who will win fame and fortune. Women must pay for everything. They do not get more glory than men for comparable feats, but they also get more notoriety when they crash.
Princess Diana. She's a great mother and she's good at charity work. She made a lot of famous speeches about charities, fairness and AIDS. Everyone needs to be valued. Everyone has the potential to give something back.
Mother Teresa was born on August 27, 1910 in Yugoslavia. She was known as the friend to the friendless or sister to the poor.
Mother Teresa had many achievements in her life, such as in 1979 she was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. She also helped the poor and made homes and shelters for the poor as well.
She died in Calcutta in India in 1997, yeah. And she dedicated her life to the poor and sick and the dying. She was a friend to the friendless and a sister to the poor.